Hello everybody and welcome to DP Score Studio Time. My name is Dragan and I'm a film music and media composer. Today we are going to take a deeper look at the newest piano plugin from IK Multimedia, which is called Pianoverse. I'm really excited, so let's begin the review. First of all, I would like to give you a short introduction into the Pianoverse plugin. We will take a deeper look at the Concert Grand YFIII and the Royal Upright Y5. And let's start just a small presentation to show you what the Pianoverse plugin is capable of and what it has to offer. So, as it says, it is the only piano instrument you'll ever need, and it's a breathtaking piano realism that meets limitless creativity. So overall, we have a finest world-class pianos sum up of all the best pianos from the world, meticulously tuned and recorded really precisely. We have robot-assisted sampling for unparalleled accuracy and precision. So they have used a special piano robot to get this recorded very well in a very nice quality. And we have an overall new sound engine with redesigned round robins and voice management. I've talked to some guys from IK Multimedia, and I can say this new sound engine is something really big. It is, I think, first of its kind, because piano we have an instrument that is very classy, very complicated, and the piano was recorded with robot-assisted sampling for unparalleled accuracy and precision. The new sound engine, which is redesigned with new round robins and voice management, gives you really a great experience. Continuous pedal control for half and catch pedaling. We have advanced controls like lid position, harp resonance, pedal and piano mallets noise. We have multiple instrument and room microphone options, which I will show you later on. We have Studio Essential EQ, compression, limiting and stereo width options, so you can set a tone as you like, with over 30 revolutionary generative sound spaces to explore. And we can see the spaces on the in the middle. It says 30 spaces. I will show those spaces in detail. We have 12 high-end creative cinematic effects. We can see it on the right side. We have particles, convomorph, which is the new one, also into particles. Relab is, I think, also a new effect, and also the choral. And delay, filter, lo-fi, overdrive, and so on and so forth is something that you should know, but we will get a look inside. Well, we have a new all-access subscription option. This is a new payment model from IK Multimedia, starting with the Pianoverse plugin. The interface is optimized and resizable, and we have, of course, native support for Apple M1 processors, and also M2 and M3 processors. There is a little issue that I will talk about later with Intel-based machines, because I'm using an Intel-based machine, and there is still, after some updates, kind of an issue, but let's talk about it later. The plugin works as well as a 64-bit plugin or standalone instrument, so you can use it in your DAW. My DAW of choice is currently Logic or Cubase. And yeah, this is how you can load this instrument, and you have MIDI control with MIDI learn. So all the buttons and knobs, you can just MIDI learn and assign it to some MIDI controls. Overall, we have, for the current available instruments, we have the Concert Grand YFIII, the Royal Upright Y5, the Black Diamond B280, and the NY Grand S274. And coming soon are those four models. I will talk about it in a second. Taking a look at the system requirements, I think it is pretty standard. So it says at minimum for max, you should have a Core Duo, which is, in my opinion, very old, 8 gigs of RAM, but suggested 32 gigs of RAM because it is very RAM intensive, I have to say. And you need macOS 10.13 or later, so you should have it up to date with, for example, macOS Sonoma or so on. And you need for one piano about 30 gigabytes, 30 gigs of hard drive. So I mean, the rest is also nearly the same for Windows machines. You will know about that. So, in taking a look at what is available, what is currently available, we have the Concert Grand YFIII, which is based on the beautifully sounding Yamaha CFIII. This is available right now, and we will also take a listen to this one, and also the Royal Upright Y5 piano. which is based on a Yamaha U5 professional upright piano. Really a beautiful sound you have. With those two Yamahas, I would say that you have two beautiful worlds of what a piano can achieve. You have a smaller, more intimate sound with the Y5, with the upright piano. And for all the rest, pop songs, classical, film music, you can use the Grand YF3, but you will see what I mean. Then we have the Black Diamond B280, which is based on the Bösendorfer 280 Vienna concert grand piano. This is also available right now. And last but not least, we have the New York Grand S74, which is, of course, based on the Stanway and Sons New York D275, also available now. And what is coming soon? And I think that two of them are already available now, which is the Grand Concerto 278, which is based on a Fazioli F278. So this one is also something that I really want to take a look at. Then we have the Hamburg Grand 274, which is based on the Stanway and Sons Hamburg edition D274. So we have New York and Hamburg for the Steinway and Sons grand pianos. And then we have another upright piano, which is based on Koch and Korzelt upright. And then we have the Black Pearl B200, which is also a Bösendorfer, so the smaller one with 200, so 2 meters long. And when we take a look at the Concert Grand YF3, it is based on a 9-inch Yamaha CF3 Concert Grand piano, as I said. It is captured using DPA and Schoeps microphones. We will take a look within the plugin at that. It is recorded in the legendary Phonoprint studios and has around 29.4 gigs of sound content. So that's a lot. It's around 30 gigabytes per piano. And overall, we have 25 instrument presets, which are, so to speak, the spaces in combination with some effects and tweaks, and you will have 25 presets that you can choose from. This piano is also included in Pianoverse, either in the all-access monthly plan or in the all-access yearly plan. And the picture at the bottom right shows the player view, how it looks in as a loaded plugin, right? With the floor, beautiful view, high-res image, really beautiful. So that's the Grand YF3. Then we have the Royal Upright Y5, which is based on a modern Yamaha U5 Upright Piano, also capturing using DPA microphones, but also AKG 414 microphones. We will take a listen at that too. And this is recorded at IK state-of-the-art studio in Modena, Italy. So IK Multimedia has not only a studio in the United States, but also in Italy, where I have recorded those pianos. Here we have 32.6 gigs of sound content, so even a bit more than the grand piano, but also with 25 instrument presets. This piano also is available in the all-access monthly or yearly plan from Pianoverse, and you can see the player view. With the Black Diamond B280 Concert Grand Piano, we have a 9-inch Bösendorfer Vienna Concert Grand Piano, which is also captured using DPA and Schoeps microphones, like the Yamaha Grand Piano. And it is also recorded in the legendary Phonoprint studios. Here we come at 30.9 gigs of sound content, and also overall 25 instrument presets. Also included in the monthly and yearly plan. The NY Grand is also captured using DPA and Schoeps microphones, so all grand pianos should have been recorded with the same microphones. Here we have a little less on sound content with 25.9 gigabytes, but we still have 25 instrument presets, and also it is included in the plans from Pianoverse, the all-access plans. So those are the pianos you can see right now that are coming soon or already there. So for example, the Fazioli F278 is already there, but we have the Hamburg Grand S274. We have the Liberty Upright, which is based on the Koch and Korzelt Upright, and also the Bösendorfer 200, which is called Black Pearl B200. So let's come to the current Pianoverse version. I think that the current version is 1.0.1. this screenshot is a few days old, so you can update to the current version, but this was still the version 1.0.0 M42E23I27. And taking a look at the starting page when you're loading the plugin, we have, so to speak, 4 tabs. The first one is the yellow one, where you can choose the piano model that you want to play. The second one is filters you can use, so you can choose between mood, music genre, style, and timbre to select or to get the set of the presets that are shown right next to it. And this is the blue tab. So you can set the preset by typing in or choose from the shown presets below. And it always shows additionally a short description of the current preset that you have chosen. So we have the Concert Grand YFIII, and the preset is Modern Classical. And it says about the Modern Classical, it is a master-crafted 9-inch concert grand piano built in Japan from best spruce, rock maple, and mahogany woods, along with hand-molded, sand-casted iron to create an undisputed premium instrument. Robot-assisted sampling of the just noticeable difference threshold of the full dynamic range provides magnificent responsiveness that is ready for everything from the concert hall to film scoring stage. Recorded at the legendary Phonoprint Studios in Bologna, Italy. So this information comes within this description too. Taking a first look at the loaded piano plugin, you can see that we have 4 tabs. The first one is the piano tab, and in the piano tab you can let's first of all take a look at this master tab, or master macro strip as it is called. You can change and select things like the tune, the transpose, the space. So this is the amount of space that you want to have, and 12 equals 100% of this space. You can change the tone. You have a built-in compressor. You can activate and deactivate send and insert effects. You can set the preferred stereo image of the piano and of the sound that you want to have. You can also set the velocity curve, and the velocity curve is really interesting because it gives, although it is very, very dynamic in playing, you can get a little bit more of dynamic playing range from this velocity curve. But I think that velocity curves are a pretty standard for a very good piano plugin. So this is something where you can just change your curve and setting to the curve that you like. And also you will see also the pedal controls. We have the soft sostenuto and damper pedal, which is also standard, the 3 pedals, and they are colored when they're used. In the second macro strip, the model, you can change things like note level, releases, hammer noises, pedal noises, also the harp resonance, change the lid position, the tone shift, and velocity offset. On the second page of this model macro strip, you can also change the lid position, the tone shift, and also velocity offset, but you can also choose set some filters. For example, cutoff filter, resonance, and ANV release filters. So this is something that you can use. The second tab is the Spaces tab, and this is where this plugin gets really interesting, because we have to choose between 30 different spaces that you can choose from. And you can not only select the space, but you will also have a knob to set the amount of space that you want to have. And taking a look at the spaces, let's just talk a little bit about the spaces. We have, first of all, the Academy space, which is a large, well-tuned, warm wooden room with quick controlled reflections. And it is the ideal starting place for your piano. So this is where the standard preset is loaded into this Academy as the first preferred space. The next one is Ballad Studio. So we have a high ceiling wooden studio with 1 glass wall for a sharp reflection and long warm decay, also a beautiful sound. Then we have the Cathedral, a huge space of stone, marble, tile, and glass with beautiful complex reflections and a deep, long decay. So this is important. You will have a really long decay within the Cathedral, not the same as in the Academy or Ballad Studio, for example. Then we have also something special in my opinion. We have a Club, which is a tight, medium-sized space with a quick reflection from brick walls and fast diffusion from the room treatment. Of course, because you have a really small room, it is not that big as an Academy or Cathedral, and not that high ceilings as the Ballad Studio, right? Then it gets interesting. This is the first one that is really interesting and something absolutely mind-blowing. We have an absolutely immense outer arena with a super long decay, plus generated octaves above and below, along with 4 user controls to further dial in the environment. And those 4 controls are tension, arena, audience, gladiator, and overall you still have the space knob. So here we will take also a look at what is possible within this Colosseum. Very interesting. The next one that is really impressive as a space, having a space like the desert, which is a highly animated outdoor environment with rushing winds and sand particles, along with 4 user controls to fine-tune the atmosphere. And this is also the Mirage, wind, sand, and dunes, pretty similar to the Colosseum ones. So here we have the tension, arena, audience, gladiator, but we are in the desert, so we have the Mirage, wind, sand, and dunes, of course. Then everybody knows the garage or the garage. So this is a small bright space with quick reflections and a super fast decay. Of course, it's a small room, it's a garage. And then really, again, a beautiful space. And this is something outstanding for this library and for this plugin. We have an iceberg. So the piano is standing in Antarctica on an iceberg. And we have a super lively outdoor environment with massively spacious decay, along with 4 user controls to further fine-tune the Arctic experience. Here we have current, waves, roughness, and reflections together with the space button overall, or the space knob overall, to set the amount of the space. The next is a live venue, so a bright large wooden hall with finely tuned sustaining reflections and a medium long decay, similar to the club a little bit, but sounding really nice too. Then we have Monastery 1 and 2, so this is a large stone space which creates a long reflection with a medium short decay for an instant sense of dimension while still maintaining control. And the second is a longer narrow stone space. So we have a little bit of a different space, but still both are controlled just by the space knob, and you can take just a listen and decide what is better, Monastery 1 or Monastery 2. And then in my opinion, again, this is maybe the third really interesting space, the Old Forest. We have the Old Forest, and this is a tight, medium-sized space with a quick reflection from brick walls and fast diffusion from the room treatment. But I cannot see the brick walls, to be honest. But this is also coming with 4 further knobs like raise, cicadas, foliage, and magic. You will see and hear what this means. So then we have the Opera House, which is a large, bright hall with dense reflections and a long decay for instant drama and gravitas. Beautiful sounding. Opera House is really a beautiful sound for a piano, for a grand piano of this type. Really interesting, really nice. Then we have the Palace, which is a series of adjoining large rooms made of aged hardwoods, creating a complex warm reflection with a medium long decay. Also an interesting room, a little bit smaller than the other ones that we've seen, but really interesting. Nice one. So then we have a Studio One, the piano booth. So this is a small treated recording booth with minimal ambience to add warmth and body to your grand piano sound. Then we have the Presbytery, which is is an extension or an addition to Monastery 1 and 2. So this is the back corner of a stone church with stained glass windows, and this is providing a warm, long reflection and medium fast decay. So that's a nice one. And again, there is the next big boom. It is a red planet. So we are putting the grand piano on the Mars surface, on the surface of the Mars planet. And then we have the telemetry from the interplanetary probe, which is mixed in this alien environment for a truly cinematic experience. We have 5 user controls, which allow us to further captain the mission. So we have stars, signal, radiations, and vacuum. Plus, of course, the amount of space that we get. Then we have a sanctuary, which is a large, well-tuned classical basilica, mix of stone, wood and glass for a quick, bright initial reflection into a long, warm decay. And again, this is a beautiful picture of a sanctuary. I think this is where the effort is clearly seen. And I have to say thank you, IK Multimedia, that you are making those beautiful, or have made those beautiful backgrounds for the piano and those, yeah, beautiful spaces, as you call it. So the next one is the seafloor. And again, this is something that is really interesting. So please imagine, what does a grand piano sound like underwater? So we can think a little bit about it, what it could sound, but this is really interesting to see and to hear what it could sound possibly. And of course, this is an effect. Nobody has put a grand piano into some water and the seafloor, as it is called here. But here we can really explore the ever compelling underwater depths with the cinematic environment, and we have 5 user controls to yeah, further navigate our dive experience. And we have the depth, the waves, the swell, and the reef, and of course we are getting this space again. So then, in addition to the monastery and also sanctuary and so on, we have the stone chapel, and the high ceiling, of course, in this medium-sized room creates a long reflection and medium fast decay with a warm tone. So this is kind of not so cold, it's a really warm one, a warm toning, and we have such a nice depth also in this piano. We will take a listen at it too. Then we have Studio A, B, and C. So those are medium, small, and large recording booths. Really nice. Also, every of it has just the amount of space knob. Then we have the mansion. Here you're getting appearances or appearance drafts, interferences, and fields, in addition to the space knob. And we have spirits and apparitions abound in this haunted, glitchy, paranormal house on the hill. 5 user controls let you manage your madness. Of course. One of my favorites, I have to say, is the theater space, because it is a really large, warm space hall with a raised softwood stage and heavy velvet curtains and wall treatments that generates a long initial reflection and a slow dark decay. You will really be impressed by this space, because it's so great sounding. Wonder faces are really beautifully sounding, but in terms of realism, I think theater is one of the most realistic spaces. So let's not take too many time to stay here. So we have the underground as a new space. Then we have a vault, so a large stone chamber, also really interesting sounding. Then again, we have the Vintage Studio 1 and Vintage Studio 2. We have a large and a classic large recording room, so with a wooden floor and yeah, a couple of diffusers, really nice sounding. We're also getting here a warehouse, which is a large medium dock space with multiple reflections building into a medium length decay. And I would say for the mix tab, which is coming next, mix and effects, we will get into the live demo. But let me just talk a little bit about the pricing. So we have grand pianos and the upright pianos for about each 99.99 euros or dollars, excluding VAT. Of course, the pianos that are coming soon, those are not priced yet. But I know that the Grand Concerto is also the Grand Concerto 278 from Fazioli that is also already available, and I think that it is same priced as the current 4 ones. And then of course you have you can also choose a monthly or yearly plan where you can pay $40.99 or $149.99 for a full year to get all current pianos and new ones on release. So we will have, of course, those 4 and those 4 pianos, 8 beautiful grand pianos and upright pianos, and I'm really interested in what it gets in the future and what is the addition to that, because 8 pianos for 150 a year, that is okay, but for the first year. So the second year there has to come more, in my opinion. So, and that's the keynote. So, and I would say that we just come to our piano and take a look at the overall interface. You can also resize it, which is really beautiful. And I'm really loving this resizability, if this is a word. So let's get to our model. Let's say the Concert Grand YF3, or you can also say the Royal Upright Y5. And immediately you can see the different presets that we're getting. So those are the 25 presets we're getting every time. But let's, and for example, let's take a look, let's take a look at the filters you get. So we have the timbre if you want this sound to be angelic, bell-like, bold, bright, and so on and so forth. This is what you get, compressed, espressivo, and so on and so forth. So you get a lot. Then we have the style of the piano, if you want acoustic, analog, classic, lo-fi, and so on. And you immediately get the presets that fit to this style, for example. You can also choose from music genres like dance, electronic, jazz, house, hip hop, and so on and so forth. And last but not least, the mood. You can say I want an aggressive piano, so you should choose old school or Saturama, right? Yeah, but for the natural sound, I would say let's get to the natural concert grand, which is the standard one, the standard preset I would suggest to start with, because this is the clearest sound, this most standard non-processed sound. And with a double click, you will see that it takes a few seconds. Although it is on a very fast built-in SSD, it takes some seconds to load. And yeah, here it is, the beautiful surface. And let's maybe just turn off the space. I will just give you a short introduction of the sound. So really beautiful sounding, beautiful interface, I would say. And this is what I've said in the beginning in the presentation. You can really turn everything, every knob, and change the sound as you like it. Maybe the lid position, for example. Close the lid. So you can hear that the harshness in the highs is not there anymore. There it is, the high frequencies. But you can also say, let it be half opened or half closed. So, beautiful sound. Taking a look at the classical knobs that we have, you can hear it. This is the tune. Most instruments nowadays are at 440, so we will let 440 be also the standard. Of course, the transpose button, you should know about it, but yeah, on a classical piano, and if you have 88 keys to play, right, you will not need to transpose. If you are playing maybe on such a small keyboard, for example, as this one, then of course you can use the transpose button, but it is classical transposing the sound just as you would suggest or yeah, think about. So then we have the space. We will take a look at the space, but this is the amount you can just choose here from. Then we have the tone overall. It takes a little bit of depth, but I would let it at 0. And then we have some compression here. All right, and then we have the overall width, the width for the piano. Take a listen at that. No width at all. And I can remember a lot of pianos from the past sounding like this. So I think 0 was no topic at that time. Right, and as you're getting even bigger in the number of the width, the sound is beautifully widened. And one thing that is really good at Pianoverse, the lower keys coming from the left ear cap or from the left speaker. So take a listen at that. And the upper ones, the higher notes, are coming from the right side. beautifully. And in combination, of course, as far as you're getting to the left or right side of the piano, you will hear this widened sound, which is not possible if the width is turned at 0. So take a listen at that. It is still there, but not as present, not as much present as like with the width knob turned fully to the right, to 100%. So we've talked about the velocity curve, and of course I can set the velocity curve to the highest point here and also to the lowest. If set to highest, you do not need to press that much on your keyboard because you're getting more velocity with not that hard playing. So you're getting so you can play not that hard, but getting the louder tones, the higher velocity. And if you turn that down, right, then you really can play so softly. And need to really press down the keys. Right. Then looking just at the model, we have the note level. So this is the overall sound and volume you have to the note. Releases. Right, then the hammer noise. Then we have, of course, the pedal noises. You can hear it, the damper pedal. Right. Then we have the harp resonance. Right. Then we have the lid position. Tone shift. And immediately with changing the tone shift, immediately you're getting something different as the piano sound. And just to show you how to how to use the MIDI learn function. So you just need a controller with a free knob, for example, say MIDI learn, and then you can just assign one knob and just use it. So I think this is really a great feature because then you can just play and change the tone shift while you're playing. That's really great. So let's come back to the velocity offset. And this even helps to improve to play a little bit softer. So let's, for example, set it like this in the velocity curve and say the velocity offset turned really down. Right, so really nice possibilities that you're getting here. At the filter type, you can just choose, for example, a classic low-pass filter. Let's just choose it just to show you. You can set a cutoff, release, filter release, and a envelope release. And you can hear it directly. And this is just the type of filters that you can use right here. Let's just load the standard preset again, so that we have a clean setup for the next part. So coming to the spaces, we start at the Academy space. And the amount of space can go up to 100%, which is 12 dB. Nice sounding. Let's come to the ballad studio. A little bit loud, so let's just turn it a little bit down. Cathedral. Welcome to the club. Now we are coming to the Colosseum, which is really interesting. So let's just take a listen at with those standard tension, arena, audience, and gladiator settings. So this is really a big hall and decay. You can hear it. That's really big. So this is, of course, 100%. Let's go to 50, but still, you're getting the effect. So let's change the tension. Then we have the arena. Biggest arena you have ever heard. For sure. Then we have audience. And the gladiators coming in. Gladiators coming in, so the harsh sound at the end. Yeah, that's right it. All right. So welcome to the desert. So really experimental, a really experimental space, in my opinion. Then we have the garage, really beautiful sound also. Welcome to the iceberg, also quite interesting. I think it's a little bit too much, in my opinion. It is nice sounding, nice effects, but so live venue, beautiful sound also. You can hear how wide the sound is. Then we are in the Monastery 1. Small reverb, small decay. Or not that small, but it is not that big as I think the Monastery 2. Monastery 2. A lot bigger. So let's go into the forest now, the old forest. So let's go to the opera house. So as I've said, opera house also one of my all-time favorites because the beautiful realism is so present and so very well done. I really love it. Welcome to the palace. A bit loud. Still loud, okay. Then let's go to the piano booth. This is your studio piano sound. Right, let's go to the presbytery. Beautiful sound. And now, shout out to Elon Musk. Welcome to the Red Planet. So this is what a piano obviously should sound on the Red Planet, right? On the Mars. All right, so let's go back to the sanctuary, or let's come to the sanctuary. Now we're underwater and let's listen to the seafloor. Then we have the Stone Chapel. Welcome to Studio A. Then we have Studio B. And Studio C. And the Mansion. Here it really gets crazy, so you have to really be careful with the sounds. Then we are in the theater right now. Beautiful white space. So if you are in a real theater this size, as the picture suggests, the piano sounds like this. It is far away, right? So then let's go deep to the underground. So welcome to the stone-walled vault. Beautiful for deeper notes in the vault especially. Then we have the vintage Studio 1. Then we have the vintage Studio 2. And last but not least, we have the warehouse. Nice little reverb, I think. Beautiful. And then let's maybe go back to the Academy, or let's just turn the space off so that you can hear and understand also the differences, for example, in the microphone positions or in the microphones. So what we have here is the piano sound recorded with the close micings. So we have two choices. We have the close and coincident. Let's stick to the close. And then we have the coincident ones. I will switch between those that you can hear the difference. So I think the coincident ones, they are really giving you a little bit of even wider sounding, but it is not that precise in my opinion. So if you want this for experimental purposes, of course, then you can use it, of course, but the close ones are, sorry, but the close ones are the ones that I would go with for the beautiful piano sound. And so you can, in this mix tab, you can really use, for example, EQs. You have a graphic or parametric EQ. You can tweak the lows, low mids, high mids, and highs, of course. You can take a look at the frequency and also tweak a little bit. You can gain it. Of course, you can also use a compressor and different types of compressors, to be honest. You have the modern one, which is looking like this. Then we have the vintage one with the VU meter. Then we have the British one, also beautiful. And then we have the Varimu. Of course, we have the space. You can also choose the space and also the panning, which is really interesting because now we have this space fully on both sides, left and right. But panning to the left, for example, and to the right, gives a beautiful and interesting effect, I think. Right, so that's beautiful. But we will just mute the space. You can also mute a mic, but then you have no piano at all, right? So you shouldn't do that. And of course, we have a second compressor, so you can use a tool set of 2 EQs and 2 compressors at the same time. And then we have the master effects, and you can choose choral, relap, and the filter, change the tone, compression, and also the width. But you can deactivate also everything that you do not need, so that you just have the clear sound. And then what we have here in the effects tab, we have all the effects that you can use. So let's just start with choral. Then we have the Convomorph, which is one of the newest effects from IK Multimedia, and within this piano plugin, Pianoverse. And here you can just switch those different effects because you have, so to speak, an A and B side of this convomorph, convolution, reverb, and you can use, for example, particles more and go to complex, and you will see it in the image. So you have, on the one hand, you have particles, and then you have the complex one, A and B. Then you have delay, classical delay. Then we have filters, of course, different types of filters, low pass, high pass, and so on. Then we have lo-fi. Also a nice effect you can play around with. Then we have the overdrive. Overdrive filter. Then we have the particles alone. Then we have the relap. Then we have the rephase. Classical phaser. Then we have a saturator. And a shimmer. And then we have the vintage plate as the last effect. And you can combine 3 of this beautiful sounding effects to just create crazy worlds of piano sounds. For example, if we take the vintage plate, a relap and a rephase, and you just press one button, it creates a beautiful sound. And this is also what the presets are using. So I will show you just some presets also in a few seconds, but you can really work extensively with those effects to get such a beautiful sound from this piano that you've chosen. So, or of the piano that you have chosen. The natural concert grand is the first one. The next one is the upright piano. But let's just go back to the concert grand piano and just take a look at those some of the presets. So, for example, we had the natural concert grand, which is I would say, very, very clean setup of the concert grand, and clean sounding. Let's, for example, take the first one, the Bagatelle in the Hermitage, which says a traditional classical grand piano tonality set in a large wooden gallery. So you have to imagine we are in a large wooden gallery for that, all right? So it takes a few seconds, and then we can just go ahead. Also very smooth sounding. Let's maybe take this one. I anticipate atmospheric piano with convermerf modulation. And the last one, for example, a rich modern jazz piano. So that's also a beautiful sounding one. And let's just maybe take a listen to the Royal Upright Y5, which also comes with all the spaces and all the mixing presets and effects that you're getting. And for the standard sound, I would like to go with the Natural 5, which says the more direct and intimate sound of this exquisite upright piano is ideal for jazz or pop singer-songwriter material, vocal accompaniment, and any musical setting where the sound of gigantic concert grand might be too overpowering. The piano was recorded with robo-assisted sampling of the just noticeable difference threshold of the full dynamic range for ultra responsiveness at a state-of-the-art IK studio at the company headquarters in Modena, Italy. Let's take a listen to that. We can just have a listen to some of the spaces. But first of all, let's take a listen to the classical upright piano, the Yamaha Upright Y5. So beautiful sounding piano, and I think this one is also so intimate, so small, and so warmth in sound that you can create beautiful pieces with this, whether it's film music like I'm composing, or if it's pop music, hip hop music, which needs a nice piano. So many possibilities, I have to say. This is really beautiful. Let's take a listen to some of the different spaces. For example, let's take the Academy. And again, a beautiful picture of this piano. let's go to the garage. Let's put this one in the old forest. Just a little bit too much, right? So now we are in Studio A. And maybe just the vault. Right, and maybe for the last space, let's choose the theater, which is really beautiful sounding. A little bit too loud. Let's just lower the space amount. Just a little bit. Beautiful. So, and I would say this is it for the review of the overall Pianoverse plugin. I've prepared just a small project to show you what Pianoverse is able with those different pianos, what it is able to do within a piece which is written for film music. And for this purpose, I had to freeze all the tracks because it is so RAM intense. And I cannot just let the plugins play by itself. So I will just show you the single tracks of Pianoverse, then everything in combination, or just the strings, the brass, woodwinds, and percussion. And at the end, we have cathedral organ, so you can hear what it sounds like, right? Right. So what I've done here, let's first of all take a listen to the Pianoverse part with the 5 instances. The first one is my motive, so to say. I've called it motive, and it sounds like this. Then I have a bass, so-called piano bass. Then we have the airy piano. And to me, the sound is a little bit airy. This is what I wanted to achieve, at least. So then we have the echo, the piano echo. And then we have the angelic piano. and all together sound like this. So then we have some strings, violins, violas, cello, and basses. Nothing special. And then some brass. Some low and mid brass, and also the trumpets. Then we have some woodwinds, flutes, oboes, and bassoons. A little bit of percussion. We have the glockenspiel, symphonic gongs, a timpani roll. We have tambourines coming up. We have a bass drum coming up. And to underline the bass melody, I've also added the bass pedals. The bass pedals of an organ. So and all together sounds as follows. Well, so you have heard how very well it underlines this whole orchestral piece, and it is perfectly fitting just into between these lines. And I think that Pianoverse is really a great sounding, a beautiful, versatile, and dynamic plugin with such a beautiful sound, very detailed sound, and you can do and tweak a lot of things and use different spaces, different effects, mix it how you want and the sound that you want. And I think that you really can get at least 99% of the piano's sounding or the sounds that you want from your piano just out of this plugin. And it is really versatile. And the only issue that I have with it currently is just a little bit of CPU peaks, because if it's loaded just in still mode with no preset at all, it just takes up to 50% from one core on an Intel-based machine. I'm not quite sure how it works on the M-based machine, the Apple M chips or the Apple Silicon chips, and the M1, 2, and 3 chips. But overall, this plugin is really a game changer. I think you have it all in one package. You have the piano, you have different pianos, which are, in my opinion, really well sampled, and they've used the robot to just be so precisely recording those samples that you can get over 30 gigabytes or around 30 gigabytes per piano library that you're buying. I think pricing wise, they are really good in the range of a big or a good bang for your bucks, because it is a lot of work and effort that was put it into this plugin and into developing such a beautiful instrument. And I think that they have used a lot of knowledge that they have from previous instruments, like from Sample Tank 4. So you should not forget that IK Multimedia is known for Sample Tank for years, right? So I personally started with Sample Tank 2, then upgraded to Sample Tank 3, and Sample Tank 4 was there. So I had to upgrade, because it is such a beautiful plugin and beautiful instrument. But with Pianoverse, to come back to this piano plugin, they have a new sound engine. They have everything new. And this is why I think that let's just wait a couple of updates maybe until it works perfectly and aligns perfectly with your system, with your CPU and RAM management, so that you could use it in multiple instances. And if I'm looking at some of my bigger projects where I need not only 1 or 5 instances of piano, but maybe I want to use 12, 15, 20 instances. This is currently not possible without freezing the tracks, but never mind, let's just see what the future brings to us. That's it for now. That was my review of the Pianoverse plugin from IK Multimedia. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if so, please like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.